Okay, boys and girls. So to start our math lesson this week, and excuse me, my voice is like in the process of coming back, so just bear with me. For our math lesson this week, I want to get started with a story. So picture this. I'm in this store shopping and I come across this hat that I like. I really love to wear hats. And it's a red hat, and this red hat is $9. And I love the red hat. So I'm doing my shopping, and eventually I meet up with a worker at the store. And she's asking me about some of the things I have in my hand that I'm going to buy. And she's like, do you like hats? I said, yeah, I love hats. And she said, well, I noticed you had that red one, and we have this blue one over here, and I think you would look really awesome in it. The only downfall is that it's 3 times as much as the red hat. So I'm thinking, okay, why couldn't she just tell me how much the blue hat is? Because now I have to think about what does it mean when she says that the blue hat is 3 times as much as the red hat. So what we're actually going to be learning about ties right in to this story. I had to figure out, okay, the blue hat is 3 times as much as the red hat. And that actually is called multiplicative comparison. So we're actually going to be learning about that skill right here called multiplicative comparison. And I'll show you everything you need to know to be able to understand problems that use that vocabulary, like 3 times as many or 4 times as many. So let's dive into this lesson. So like I said, multiplicative comparison. Multiplicative is kind of a funny word, right? You probably haven't used it very much in math before. This might be your first time hearing it. So in word problems that require you to do multiplicative comparison, basically you're using multiplication to compare two values or two amounts. So in these problems, you might hear phrases like times as many. So for example, like I just said about my hat being 3 times as much as this one, or she had 3 times as many tickets than her sister. Times more, times as much, times as large. Those are other kind of phrases that if you see those in word problems, it's a good clue that you're going to be using multiplication to compare. So here's an example for you. And it also has this picture to help us visually see it. So I love that. It says 4 times as many as 3 is 12. So if we could just ignore that 12 part, 4 times as many as 3. So it's telling us here's what 3 looks like, but we need 4 times 3. So here's 1 set of 3, 2 sets of 3, 3 sets of 3, and 4 sets of 3. So this bottom figure here shows 4 times the amount of 3. So here are some more things at the bottom. Let me make this part go away. So here's just some examples. John made 3 pies. Jeff made 6 times more pies than John. So what's our question? How many pies did Jeff make? Because they told us he made 6 times the amount of pies that John did. So we need to be able to do the math to figure out how many that is. So here would be, I need to stop doing that. Our equation would be 3 times 6 equals 18. And I'm going to show you a picture in the next slide that kind of tells you how to set up this problem and take the words and turn them into an equation. So let's look at that now. And here it is. Let me move myself. Okay. So up here, let's look at this yellow one on the left. It says write a multiplicative comparison. To write a multiplication equation as a multiplicative comparison, change the symbols into words. So let's look here. 27 is 3 times as many as 9. So this one was kind of like let me just pause with the thought I was about to say. 27 is 3 times, so here's our 3, and there's our times, 3 times as many as 9. So in this problem, they had to multiply 3 and 9, and they figured out that that 27 is 3 times as many as 9. Goodness. Now let's look at this blue photo on the side. It says 56 is 7 times as many as 8. So we have 56 equals 7 times 8, basically. Or we could say 56 divided by 7 equals 8. Or 6 times 12 equals 72. So 6 times as many as 12 is 72. So now I have a couple problems that I want to solve, and I want you to pay attention to the way that I solve them so that you know exactly how to solve them when you work on your guided practice, which is IXL, and when you work on your independent practice, which is just going to be a couple practice problems that look exactly like these. So let me grab my board. So here we go. The problem says, let's look at the first one. 3 times as many as 5. Okay, so I'm going to write this as I hear it. Let's see. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay. So 3, and it's going to be backwards. Is it backwards? 3 times as many as 5. So now we're doing 3 times 5. And that gives us 15. Perfect. Let me pause this. Okay. See? Simple. It's actually very simple. Our next one. 40 is 5 times more than this number. So I would do 40. I want this thing to go away. Okay. So I would do 40, and we would kind of have an equal sign. We're going to write it as a multiplication problem, but we're going to do division to solve it backwards. So 40 is 5 times this number. So I'm going to write my 5 times because I heard that in my problem up here. So 40 is 5 times this number. So basically what I'm asking is 5 times what gives us 40? 5 times 8, exactly. So we're just starting very simple, and I'm helping you figure out how to turn a short word problem like this. 40 is 5 times more than this number. I'm helping you figure out how to turn that problem into an equation like this. And once we put the numbers into the equation, as long as we know our multiplication facts, then we can solve. Okay. So 8, I'm going to read number 3. 8 times as many as 3. Okay, so simple, right? 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, let's do one more. The next one says 49 is 7 times more than this number. So I'm going to do equals 7 times more than this number. So I'm going to see 7 times what gives me 49? 7 times 7. Perfect. So this is exactly what you're going to be doing. The first part of your assignment is going to be on IXL D.10, and you're going to work for 15 minutes or until you reach a SMART score of 50. I want to tell you about IXL. IXL is considered guided practice, which means that you are doing it along with the teacher. And the reason that I say that IXL is guided practice is because IXL is a teacher for you if you actually read its explanations. If you get a problem wrong and, if you scroll down when it tells you that it's incorrect, it usually tells you, how to do it correctly or how to fix your error. So if you're not reading their explanations, then you're actually really missing out on some valuable feedback that can help you become a better learner. So after IXL, you'll be doing, I think it's 4 practice problems identical to these. Obviously, the numbers are different, but it's going to be set up just like this, and you'll put your answer right over here. So let me make myself smaller so I can explain. Okay, so let's say for this one, 8 times as many as 3. Your answer would say 8 times 3 equals 24. Okay, so that's exactly what you will be doing for the rest of your time here in math. And I hope to see you on Zoom at 1 o'clock.